Breaking. Welcome to today's headlines. Obasonjo was sentenced to death. See how he survived it. Obasonjo was sentenced to death. See how he survived it. To my dear listeners from wherever you're listening from, stay tuned as I read today's news. A military tribunal sentenced 40 people, including a former head of state, for plotting to topple General Sani Abacha's government. A defense headquarters spokesman, Brigadier General Fred Chijuka, told a news conference that civilians and military persons were among those convicted, but he did not give their names or say when the sentences were passed. But Chijuka, who read the names of 8 people acquitted of charges in the coup, said General Olusegun Obasonjo, Nigeria's head of state from 1976 until 1979, and his former deputy, Major General Shehu Musa Yaradua, had appeared before the tribunal and were not among the people discharged by it. You can draw your own conclusions, he said, adding anybody not among the list of those discharged has been sentenced, and the sentence is now before the Provisional Ruling Council for review. Obasonjo is the only one of Nigerians' many military rulers to have handed over power to an elected civilian government. The administration that succeeded him, however, was toppled in a 1985 coup led by General Ibrahim Babangida. Babangida held power until 1993, when, after promising to restore democracy, he annulled the results of a presidential vote and installed a civilian administration under military control. Abacha seized power in November 1993. The country has been in a political crisis since the annulment of the June 1993 election, with democracy advocates pressing for an end to military rule and Abacha's regime cracking down on political activity. The undeclared winner of the presidential vote, Moshood Abiola, has been in detention since June 1994 on treason charges for proclaiming himself president. According to Chijuka, a total of 51 people had referred to the tribunal, which convened on June 5 after the government said it had discovered a plot to overthrow it on March 1. Local and foreign newspapers have reported that some of the officers convicted of participating in the alleged coup attempt had been sentenced to death, and that Obasonjo had been given a 25-year jail term. Obasonjo escapes death in prison. Obasonjo, while narrating his ordeal, said, 2 people had earlier told me Abacha promised that 3 of us would not come out of prison or detention alive. Myself, Shehu Yaradua, and MKO Abiola, and 2 of them did not come out alive. So, that I came out alive, maybe God has a purpose, and therefore, if the purpose is for me to serve the people, and by so doing, serve God, then so be it. My greatest escape from untimely death was brought about through the machinations and snares of Abacha, even that was God's doing. While Obasonjo was jailed by Abacha. During the administration of Sani Abacha, 1993 to 1998, Obasonjo spoke out against the human rights abuses of the regime and was imprisoned in June 1995 for alleged participation in an aborted coup based on testimony obtained via torture. He was released only after Abacha's sudden death on 8 June 1998. While in prison, Obasonjo became a born-again Christian. Recollecting his experience during the trial of the coup, Obasonjo says, "My saddest day was when I sat in front of a military panel set up by late former head of state, Sani Abacha, to try me over a phantom coup, and sentenced to death and later commuted to 30 years imprisonment." Obasanjo said because of his severe close shaves with death, people built a myth around him, circulating tales that he was more than an ordinary human being. He doesn't believe or indulge in fetish practices. However, he believes he had remained alive till now simply because of God's consistent generosity to him. Now, Sani Abacha is dead, but he's still alive. A military tribunal sentenced 40 people, including a former head of state, for plotting to topple General Sani Abacha's government. A defense headquarters spokesman, Brigadier General Fred Chijuka, told a news conference that civilians and military persons were among those convicted. But he did not give their names or say when the sentences were passed. But Chijuka, who read the names of 8 people acquitted of charges in the coup, said General Olusegun Obasanjo, Nigeria's head of state from 1976 until 1979, and his former deputy, Major General Shehu Musa Yar'Adua, had appeared before the tribunal and were not among the people discharged by it. To my dear listeners, now we've come to the end of our today's news. Please do drop by the comment section and let us know what your view is all about. Thank you.